Alright, let's dive into a story that's equal parts shocking and thought-provoking. Imagine this: a judge throws out drug charges against a Toronto man because she believes the police stole $5,000 from his apartment during a search. Sounds like the plot of a crime thriller, right? But this is real life, and it's raising some serious questions about accountability, justice, and the trust we place in law enforcement. So, let's break it down. First, the hook. Jawad Shamim, a personal trainer with a commerce degree from the University of Toronto, was charged with 11 offenses, including drug trafficking. But here's the twist: the judge, Justice Nancy Spies, found it likely that police officers stole $5,000 from his apartment during a search. What makes this really interesting is the judge's reasoning. She didn't just dismiss the case because of a technicality, she explicitly stated that at least one officer lied under oath. That's a bombshell. Personally, I think this case is a perfect example of how one instance of misconduct can unravel an entire legal process. It's not just about the money, it's about the integrity of the system. Now, let's talk about Shamim himself. He admitted to dealing drugs, but claimed it was on a small scale. Here's where it gets tricky: he had a detailed ledger of his cash transactions, which the judge found authentic. The Crown argued he fabricated the ledger to exploit the police misconduct, but the judge didn't buy it. What many people don't realize is how meticulous some individuals are in tracking their illegal activities. It's almost like they're running a business, just an illegal one. This raises a deeper question: does the fact that someone is committing a crime justify law enforcement breaking the law themselves? In my opinion, absolutely not. The justice system isn't about an eye for an eye, it's about fairness and due process. One thing that immediately stands out is the judge's decision to stay the proceedings. She said she had no choice but to toss the charges to denounce the police misconduct and preserve the integrity of the justice system. From my perspective, this is a bold move. It's not every day that a judge prioritizes systemic integrity over prosecuting a crime. But here's the catch: the officers involved all denied stealing the money, and one has already retired, making disciplinary action nearly impossible. This highlights a broader issue: how do we hold officers accountable when the system seems to protect them? If you take a step back and think about it, this case is a microcosm of a much larger problem in law enforcement. A detail I find fascinating is the judge's use of the balance of probability standard instead of beyond a reasonable doubt. This means she didn't need absolute certainty to make her ruling. What this really suggests is that even a strong likelihood of misconduct is enough to derail a case. It's a reminder that the justice system isn't just about punishing the guilty, it's about ensuring fairness and trust. Personally, I think this case should spark a conversation about how we investigate and address police misconduct. If one officer can lie under oath and get away with it, what does that say about the system as a whole? Finally, let's talk about the bigger picture. This case isn't just about $5,000 or drug charges, it's about the erosion of trust between the public and law enforcement. When a judge says, "I have no choice but to grant the application," in order to denounce this misconduct, it's a wake-up call. What many people don't realize is how fragile that trust can be. One incident like this can cast doubt on countless other cases. In my opinion, this is a moment for reflection, not just for the Toronto police, but for law enforcement agencies everywhere. How do we rebuild trust when it's been broken? And more importantly, how do we prevent this from happening again? So, here's my closing thought: this case is a reminder that justice isn't just about punishing the guilty, it's about upholding the principles that make our society fair and just. It's easy to focus on the drama of the story, but the real issue here is systemic. What do you think? Is the judge's decision justified? And what does this case say about the state of law enforcement today? Let me know in the comments, I'd love to hear your thoughts.